The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's hosts, guests, and viewers. We are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of any sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers team in the hope that it will be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's 7 o'clock and time for On the Spot with David Rodgers. And now, here he is, Mr. Friday Night, the show pony himself, the man, the dream, the legendary David Rodgers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers, alongside Byron Bagwell and Mitchell Gunner. Great to have you along. Tonight's show is sponsored by the Fantastic Fire Brigade. Nothing is more exciting than a full-size real fire engine, Byron, at a birthday party, parade, or special event. Fantastic Fire Brigade and Start will make your next party a blazing success. Coming to Facebook next week. Call 904-701-FIRE. That's 904-701-3473. Let's get the show started as we always do, ladies and gentlemen, with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in house, please bow your heads. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank again for a wonderful and glorious day you've given us here, dear Lord. Thank you for the time that we get to spend together, dear Lord, the On the Spot team, the brotherhood as we like to call it, as we get to spend each and every week discussing topics, researching topics, and bringing it forth to our viewers, dear Lord, and then our viewers do and disseminate the information as they need be, dear Lord. Thank you for letting us live in the greatest country in the world today, dear Lord, the United States of America. I know we have our own issues and our own problems and our own faults, dear Lord, but I can tell you this, we still, and it is still, the greatest country in the world today. Keep putting your hands on our country, dear Lord, and just make people aware, open their eyes, and see that if we believe in you, we can make this country great again. Thank you, dear Lord, for our great armed forces, each and every one of them, the ones that have sacrificed all, dear Lord, their lives for this great country, our veterans, old and young, also the men and women serving right now, dear Lord. Keep your hedge of protection over them as they're out there fighting against not only domestic terrorism now, dear Lord, but international terrorism. Also, keep your hands and a hedge of protection over the families that lost their loved ones, dear Lord. The 13 military men and women, dear Lord, that lost their lives this past week, dear Lord, as they're out there fighting the great cause and fighting also for the United States of America and, of course, its constituents. Thank you, dear Lord, for just the great food that you provide each and every day, that it goes into the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Anybody with a spoken or unspoken prayer request, dear Lord, that you touch each and every one of them. You're the ultimate healer, the ultimate comforter, the ultimate just good, dear Lord, and just comfort each and every one of them as we are battling this COVID, dear Lord, and that you just bring everybody that is sick out of this, dear Lord, and the ones that have lost somebody, dear Lord, you touch each and every one of their families and comfort them as need be. Thank you for our first responders, each and every one of those young men and women that go out there and put their lives on the line in each and every day, dear Lord, that you protect them as they're out there doing their duties and responsibilities, and please bring them home safely, their families. Again, thank you for everything that you do for us, dear Lord, each and every day. Thank you for letting us have this time, and again for another great week that will be upcoming as we continue on with our lives, dear Lord. We ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ, and the congregation says, Amen. Amen. Let us stand for our pledge, please. And I'm going to ask Mr. Byron Bagwell, since he wasn't here last week, to lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. All right. Welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers. Right alongside the the Byron Bagwell. Say hello, Byron.
Good evening, infidels.
In the house tonight, we have Austin Stevens, weather guru. We also have Donald Stevens in with us. How about the guy that's doing all the stuff right now? Mr. Dave Holland had some mouth surgery done. So we've got double duty it tonight. Our very own, the Dragon Slayer, Michael Heater, doing double duty. Say hello, Mike.
Hello, Mike.
Hello, Mike. And then to my right here, he is the Kevin Bacon lookalike. He is the local guru. He is Mr. Mitchell Gunner. Say hello, Mitchell.
Good afternoon, everyone.
There you go. Got a problem? Or odds against you? Call 1-904-458-7588. The Equalizers. Have guns, will travel. How about that? That's the way we'll fix problems. Anyway, you have a patriotic quote of the night. You love that, don't you?
Double lattes.
Yeah.
If a nation expects to be ignorant and free, it expects what never was and never will be.
Interesting. Founding father?
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Boy, I'm going with John Jay. Mitchell?
I'm going with Payne.
Thomas Paine. Yep. Okay, keep on going.
Oh,
Next.
okay. Thomas, okay.
Okay, well, that works too. I'll Sam Adams,
Okay.
because I could use one.
We can all use one. Don't have a clue. What about it, Austin? You like Thomas Jefferson on this one.
Maybe. My brain's in the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay. Byron, who is that?
It is the one and only Thomas Jefferson.
Dadgummit. I knew it.
See, that's why I said my brain's in the Gulf of
See, I gave you one. Yeah, see, there you go. I've got one for you.
Oh, okay.
And Michael, listen up. I think of a hero as someone who understands the degree of responsibility that comes with his freedom. I will tell you, he was a great songwriter.
Say it again.
I think of a hero as someone who understands the degree of responsibility that comes with his freedom. With his freedom, yeah. Great songwriter. And singer, too.
Well, that puts the one out that I was thinking, but that doesn't make any sense anyway because he's a goofball communist, but that's all right.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Any guesses, Mike? Give me one. Give me something.
Okay, I'll say Lee Greenwood.
Okay.
John Denver. Just a guess.
Johnny Cash or Willie?
Okay, you got Johnny Cash, all right.
I was going to say
Johnny
Cash
Cash.
is who I was going
How
to say.
about Bob Dylan?
Was not expecting.
That's exactly who I was talking about.
And I knew when you said that, that's why I was like,
how do you go from everybody must get down
to this. But he did. That was said by Bob Dylan.
and singer?
And
You said he was a singer.
he's not really a good one. But anyway,
Okay,
all right.
All
All right, you got another one?
Yeah, I got another.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
Keep on talking.
Yeah, hey, we've got a great show coming up tonight. Mitchell's got a lot of local stuff coming up. Austin's got the weather. We are going to have the election results here in just a few minutes with the chief of police race that we've all been dying to hear about, seeing whose predictions are right. You've got a great segment coming up tonight as well, right?
Yes,
Absolutely.
I do.
Good,
I've
good
got
deal.
a great segment, and I'm going to ask a question
What?
to everybody.
All right, that sounds good.
Actually,
And
I'm not everybody, one person in particular.
all right, well, while you're looking at that, I'm going to welcome some people in. So, Miss Janet, who I work with, she's watching tonight. Hello, Janet. Chrissy and Ricky Thompson, of course, owners of the Downtown Grill. Gail Allen's watching. Lydia Morris is watching. Kevin Howell. Shirley Bagwell, thank you for the
Good evening,
cake.
Mom.
And we'll show you that here in just a few minutes. Benny Jackson's on. Samantha Lynn's on. Elizabeth John Ryan Tillman. Raymond Roden is on. Hey, was in the cook-off there. Caitlin Tomlinson, Walter West. Is that drag racing legend Mitchell Gunner? It is him. It is him. AKA there, Walter, Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
There you go. Wesley Mann. Gail Russell's on. Paige Smith Anderson's on. Hollywood Jones is on. The Patriot, Dwight Allen's on.
Good evening, brother.
Let's see. Franklin, couple of guesses. Picture and audio looks great, according to an on-the-spot viewer. That must be Dave Holland. Wanted to make the show tonight, fellas. Sorry, I didn't make it back in time. That's our very own Sheriff Gordon Smith. So, Michael, he cannot be here.
Good evening, Gordon.
Dwight Allen said Bob couldn't sing. And you're exactly right. He couldn't carry a tune in the bucket. So, anyway, what you got, B? So
It is usually... Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. No.
It is usually futile to try to talk facts and analysis to people who are enjoying a sense of moral superiority in their ignorance.
Ooh. Jeez.
And this is not a founding father.
I'm going to say Miss Rand.
That's a great guess, but it's not Ayn Rand.
Oh, jeez.
Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand. How do you say it?
Say it one more time.
It is usually futile to try to talk facts and analysis to people who are enjoying a sense of moral superiority in their ignorance.
You got it?
Maybe.
Okay.
Ronald Reagan.
Nope.
Margaret Thatcher.
Nope.
All right, can I change my... Can I go Winston Churchill?
I was going to say.
This guy is actually a professor and a very, very intelligent man by the name of Thomas Sewell.
Bobby daggum, Mr. Sewell. Jeez. All right.
He just
Hey, it just happened.
brilliant man.
You're just trying to stop us is all.
Man, I was going to go with a double latte. We took a hit from a double latte quote again, but
Yeah, well, yeah, you know how that is.
there I was in Vietnam fighting the Germans.
Yeah. Hey, 13 months and 15 days, and the last ones were the worst. Hey, don't go anywhere because the 360 starts right now. This is the 360. Your news and weather update is 360 degrees in just 360 seconds. Tonight brought to you by Harry Business in the Deerfoot Plaza, home of the $10 haircut. Call Dave Holland and Company at 904-964-3338. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, they are now open 7 days a week. All right, let us start off this afternoon. A crash this afternoon in Lakes Butler, south of State Road 100 on State Road 121 required the jaws of life to rescue one person trapped in their car after a head-on collision. A medical helicopter transported the seriously injured driver to the hospital, and 2 others received minor injuries. We are awaiting the results of the city elections in Stark, where residents went to the polls today to select a new police chief. Bill Murray is running against Chief Jeff Johnson, and we will break in with the announcement as soon as the decision is made. One person remains in critical condition after being struck in the head with a hammer during an altercation on Hudson Avenue in Palatka. Deputies arrested Kenneth Walker on charges of aggravated battery and is in jail on a $25,000 bond. Yeah. Also in Putnam County, a bit of a scare, but nothing serious, when a small fire broke out at the Georgia Pacific paper plant in Palatka this afternoon. Firefighters discovered a small smoldering fire that was quickly extinguished with no damage or injuries. Thank God. A walk-up COVID vaccine clinic and health fair will be held in Melrose this Friday, September the 3rd. No appointments needed. All 3 vaccines are available for first, second, and third doses for immunocompromised individuals. This will be at the Melrose Center, 307 State Road 26, downtown, from 11 to 3. And for more info, call 352-475-1326. The Northeast Florida State Incident Management Team, consisting of Clay County Sheriff's Office, Nassau County Fire and Rescue, Flagler County Emergency Services, Jacksonville Fire Rescue Department, and St. Johns County Fire Rescue, were deployed to Louisiana this afternoon. The services are being deployed for the next 14 days to assist with response and recovery due to Hurricane Ida. The total blackout that's engulfed New Orleans since Ida hit could begin to lift partially by late tomorrow, and hope to have power back in the city in the next 2 weeks, which would be a miracle if that happens, right, Mike? That's the latest news from around the region. Now, here is Austin with your weather forecast.
This weather report brought to you by Austin's Weather Service out of Keystone Heights. Find Austin's Weather Service on Facebook and have a detailed local forecast sent right to you.
Good evening, everyone. So we had Ida hit poor Louisiana during the time I took AWS offline, so there has not been any forecasts out in the community groups. That's why you're watching on the spot, because you get the weather first here this week. We have a mini cold front moving through our first cold front of the season. Unfortunately, will not drop our temperatures, but will lower that humidity. The pollen may be on the rise. We will be back with the pollen counts. That's it. Back to you, David.
Yeah, pollen count, guys. Taking a look at the pollen regional pollen report. Mike, man, I tell you what, you are just killing me here. Why don't you tell those people those numbers? Because I hate them.
Absolutely. Well, we had a little bit of an uptick in the forecast. Unfortunately, it's not going to get much better.
Jeez.
Tomorrow, look for a little bit of a decrease. It's going to drop down below 5, but only as a brief respite. For the rest of this week into the weekend, pollen count stretching from 9.6 to 9.2 as we get into the weekend. Not a big chance of rain in the forecast other than your scattered afternoon showers, which means no rest for the weary and sinus-infected people.
Oh, boy, that's me and Mr. Bagwell and sometimes Mitchell Gunner and even you. So that's the latest news and weather from around the region. Thank you for that weather update. Now, here is the answer to one of the questions for Thursday night team trivia at the Downtown Grill. But before we get to that, tomorrow night there's trivia, be the second weekend. That was hosted by our very own Michael Heater. That's going to be at Fun Point tomorrow night. Michael, it starts the same time, right? Is it 7:30 or do you actually go on at 7:15?
We go on at 7:15. We had a great response last week, and we are doing very well with that one. And if you'll give me just a moment, we'll jump into that as soon as I give you some breaking news.
All right, here we go. Breaking news, guys. You're going to hear it first right here. All of you that are on here live, here we go. And, we had a big-time election going on today. And for Stark Chief of Police, Jeff Johnson, and, of course, Bill Murray. Let us have it, Big Mike. Breaking news. Jeff Johnson has been reelected as police chief for the city of Stark. That is heard first right here on the spot with David Rodgers. Congratulations to Jeff Johnson as he has been reelected as chief of police for the city of Stark.
That's right, Dave. According to election officials and city officials at City Hall, who are giving us a live feed from City Hall right now, Jeff Johnson won the election by 160 votes. Jeff Johnson took 537. Bill Murray took 373. So a margin of about 160 or so, 164 to be exact. It looks like Jeff will be retaining his position and his staff for at least the next 2 years, up to 4 years, depending on how the cycle goes.
Right.
So his retirement to Wyoming is on hold as he's been reelected as city police chief.
All right. Hey, you heard that right here. Breaking news. Jeff Johnson has been reelected to be the chief of police in the city of Stark. We said it was going to be close, didn't we?
Oh, yes, we did. And I tell you, what a really clean race between
Yes.
both of those gentlemen.
Yeah.
Keeping it real clean, not throwing mud on each other. It just makes the race go so much better.
Yeah, and they didn't. It was really a clean race, Byron. They actually got up and spoke at the rib cook-off that we were at this past weekend, and both of them were very cordial with each other. Congratulations for your candidacy. Good luck in the upcoming race. And you seem the people have spoke though. That's
right.
what voting's about. Because people have spoke, and they have reelected Jeff Johnson as their police chief. So I want to congratulate Bill Murray, man. He went back and started knocking on doors, doing some things. So, hey, here we go.
Right.
Anyway.
And it's real good to see, two candidates get along so well and
Right.
sit around and joke with each other. Like both of them said, they've both known each other for years.
Right.
And there's no sense in causing a friendship to go downhill over an election.
Well,
That's
what I was about to say,
because
they're friends.
They're friends.
It's the people who post to go out there and vote for that person.
Yep.
And hey, if you didn't go out there and vote,
Then you have nothing to say, right?
there is nothing you can say.
That's
You're
it.
exactly right.
All right, getting back to trivia. Anyway, Wednesday nights, hey, at Fun Point, Michael Heater, he does trivia on Wednesdays. I do trivia on Thursdays at the Downtown Grill. His trivia starts at 7:15. He had 5 teams there last week. Looking for several more this week. So make sure you go out there and see him. If he can't do it, then he calls me and I do it. If I can't do it at the grill, then he does it. So hey, win-win. Looking at 2 great trivia nights and looking for everybody to come out and have a good time at both of those places. Now, for us though, at the Downtown Grill, Mike does a little bit different than I do. Hey, we have a word that we always give out, right? Instead of a question, we always give an answer. You know what tonight's answer is?
Poop?
No, but close.
Velocity.
It is velocity.
Hey, I can just pick your brain.
You can
while
just
you're
pick my
sitting
brain.
there.
It is velocity. That's exactly right. Michael's trying to get that on the screen for us right now. As soon as he does that, but it is velocity. I'm gonna go and Byron, you hold up this cake real quick. Show what Mom did. Show what Mom did here. Miss Shirley Bagwell always cooking us a little something here. She baked us another cake here. This is it's a pistachio cake. I'm not sure what the official name of it is. I'm sure she'll let us know.
She'll let us know.
She'll let us
Like
know.
I said, she's probably going to kill me because I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, but let me tell you, what a great looking cake that is. I can't wait to get a piece of that. Can you?
Looks good.
Looks
Took the
really good.
toothpicks out, Mom.
Yes, he did. He was a very good boy, and he did do that. I'll vouch for that, Mom. So Kevin Tomlinson's watching. Sharon Petterprin's watching. Jared Dukes. And Trip Bryant. Sharon Petterprin says the Bradford County. Whoops. Let's see. Oh goodness.
Bradford County Health Department is
Yes.
giving the booster shots to immunocompromised individuals at
Yes.
Bradford County Fairgrounds.
Yep.
That is correct.
Samantha Lynn says the citizens have spoken. Congrats, Chief Johnson. Well won. Robert McGee says congrats, Pumpkin. Robert McGee, again, good evening. Lee's watching. Hello, Lee. How are you, sir? Noah Gibson. Oh, okay. Hey, this is a President Nixon cake. It's a Watergate cake.
What I thought she was going to
Yeah, it's a Watergate cake. President Nixon. I swear I'm not a crook.
Hey,
Right?
at least it's not a Biden cake because it would be a fruit cake.
Well, all right. Yeah. Thank you for that, Mitchell.
Oh, my Lord, that is so loaded, man.
Yeah, it is. I was going to leave that alone. Amy King Hunt is watching.
Fruitcake.
Oh, boy. Fruit cake. Oh, boy. This show's gone off the rails.
I can't.
No, I was going to,
Let's
and
just
I'm
leave
not.
it as is.
You want to leave it as is?
Just leave it
Yes,
as
we're
is.
leaving it as is because I was thinking
Let's
past.
not
Right.
dwell on it.
All right. So we're moving on anyway. Mitchell, we got. We're trying to fix a couple of things. Let's go right into your segment right here. Oh no, here it is. All right. So it is velocity. So look for velocity, and the answer is that's what we do it at Downtown Grill, 7:30 Thursday night. That's where you'll find that answer under the answer is. I'll give you 2 or 3 or 4 questions, and you should be able to get 9, 11 points out of that. Byron?
Velociraptor?
Yes, maybe something to do with that.
Okay.
And now everyone's favorite segment that brings back a little history, brought to you by our great media partners. WEAG Eagle Country 106.3 FM. Chuck and Mary Kramer and Lynn Vellis, who I work for on Friday nights. Tornado football. We'll talk a little bit about that. That was very ugly. And the Bradford County Telegraph, John Miller, John Ryan, Elizabeth Tillman, Mark Crawford, and of course Cliff Smelly. Here is What's the Date? These are the headlines from the Bradford Telegraph during the last week of August in what year? Bike Fest draws biggest crowd ever. Middle school mourns passing of longtime receptionist, and mom arrested for leaving child in her car. Was that August of 2010? Was that August of 2012? Or was that August of 2014? Bike Fest draws the biggest crowd ever. Middle school mourns passing of longtime receptionist, and mom arrested for leaving child in the car. Was that August of 2010, August of 2012, August of 2014? Now, I'm going to give you a couple little hints there to help you out. This is where you, the viewers, can participate. You can get your name put into a drawing for a $25 gift card to the Downtown Grill. And
Last night for this month.
it is the last night for this month. Mike, will we officially do the drawing tonight, or will that be next week?
Oh, no. We're going to do it for the first show, so it will be next Tuesday night. We will be drawing a winner. We still have to tally up the numbers, but I know for a fact that we've got at least 15, probably closer to 20 entries.
Oh boy.
Several duplicates, but we do have a big crowd. A couple of the questions were tough.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, I only had 1 or 2 people get them. Then we had others where we had eight or 9. So a nice pool to draw from, and we will do that next Tuesday night.
All right, sounds good. All right, I'll read the first one. Mitchell, you can read the second one. You read the third one. D. North Florida Chamber of Commerce President Pam Whittle said that the Start Bike Fest was the biggest one ever, bringing in motorcycles from US 301.
Art police arrested Jessica Marr after she left her 6-year-old son in a car while she went grocery shopping at Winn-Dixie. The call came in around 2:30 p.m. on a very hot day. She thought it was okay since there was a dog in the car as well.
Bike Fest draws biggest crowd ever. Middle school mourns passing of longtime receptionist. Mom arrested for leaving child in car. Was that August of 2010, August of 2012, and August of 2014. Ladies, welcome in. And gentlemen, welcome in On the Spot with David Rodgers. We just gave you some breaking news. Why don't you give it again, Mitchell?
Jeff Johnson is still the police chief in Stark.
That's
He
it.
was reelected tonight.
Yes, sir. There he is right there on the screen. So congratulations to Jeff and his campaign crew and everybody that helped him out. Hey, great race, clean race. So there you go. Again, Jeff Johnson retains his seat there for at least 2 more years, as Mike said. All right. So we're going to go to some comments here and wait for your answers. I already know this one, and I'm going to tell you how I know
Pretty
it.
sure I know
the Bike Fest, I was actually the MC for that Bike Fest, as I have been for several of them, so I know this answer. So I'm going to reserve and go last. But anyway, let's go. We'll start with you, Byron, real quick.
2012.
Okay? Donald? Andy?
2014.
Okay?
I want to say 10. I'll say 12. I'll go 12.
You'll go 12. All right.
10.
10? 12.
I'm going to go 2012.
Okay?
Yeah, I'll say. Yeah, I'll go.
You're going to go 2012? Okay. All right. Let's go to a couple of comments here. And while you're getting your answers, and then I'll give them to Mike so he can log them down. Jared Duke said that was awesome. Velocity equals the amount of force my foot needs to go aside Biden's rear end.
Who said that?
Robert McGee, I'm telling you right now. I promise you I'm going to tell you right now. Brother, I love you. Damn, I'm going to give you 2 cards. I am using that Thursday night.
And
That's one of the questions.
I will pay for his second card because that in itself.
That was awesome, dude. Oh my God, I am using that.
Black helicopters.
Velocity equals the amount of force my foot needs to go aside my rear. Oh my God, Robert McGee. I am using that. Michael, write that down somewhere so I don't forget it, man. Oh my God. That was hilarious, dude. Oh my God. Mitchell, did you hear me laugh at your Biden comment? The model said.
No.
No? Okay. He said no, but I'm sure you were. All right. Noah Gibbs says
Which
not.
one? The ones I said tonight or the ones I've been posting on the
No, the one about the fruitcake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Noah said it's not Christmas and fruitcake is mentioned. Lots of laughs. All right. McGee says 2010. Timothy Lee, thank you for joining us. Noah Gibson says 2012. Trent Bryant, did I lose something here? Did you lose something too, B?
I'm still good.
Are you still good? Well, what's going on here? You better start reading some
Let's
stuff
see.
there.
Joey Fennell, 2012. Bernie Jackson, 2012. Dwight Allen, 2010. Roy Jackson, 2012. Edward Preprin, 2012. Dorothy Starling, 2012. Gordon Smith, 2012.
Okay.
Dave Holland, 2010. Sharon Preprin, 2012. Shirley Bagwell, 2012.
Okay, yep, got them right there. Let me see if we're...
Congratulations,
Yep.
Chief. Guess I still need a dishwasher.
Dishwasher.
That's Marla and I'm McGrew.
Michael, she says technical difficulty. The screen keeps breaking here and there. But I think we got it because I'm back up 26. Byron's at 27. So we're good.
We're
We're golden. All right. Anybody else got any other guesses? You got just a couple of seconds right here. So, not bad. I want to thank all y'all for tuning in. And we all went around and already said your answers. Like I said, I already know the answer to this one. I know that some people on this table are correct. Yeah, there you go. All right. Ready? Give me a drum roll. And the answer is, wait for it, Michael. August of 2012 would be the right answer. If you said 20, I knew it. If you said 2012, you will get your name put in for the drawing that will happen next Tuesday night, right after Labor Day weekend. Speaking, that's going to be a great weekend, man. I'm going to ask you guys your plans, and I do want to do, before we go, Byron, I want to do a couple little, I know y'all are involved in the college pick'ems, and that's okay with us. I'm going to give you some games I want you to pick this weekend. Some top 5 matchups, or top 20 matchups. There's 5 of them. All right, let's roll. All right, guys, I tell you what, are we going to open up the phone lines, Mike, tonight? Okay. All right, I tell you what, thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll be right back with more of the show right after this commercial break.
Hey Tornado fans, this is Kurt Miracle of Miracle Automotive and Towing, proud sponsors of Tornado Football. I want to welcome you to beautiful Stark, Florida and David Hurst Stadium, and thank you for letting us be a part of this community. We're here for more than your automotive and towing needs. We're here to be part of Tornado Country. Go Big Red!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Spot with David Rodgers. To my left is Mr. Byron Bagwell. We had Austin Stevens giving you weather. He's over here to our left. Doing double duty is our very own, the Dragon Slayer, Michael Heater. Over to my right, the local guru, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. And, of course, I am the host, David Rodgers. God bless you guys for tuning in. Hey, well, that was a great answer there, 2012. We'll see how many more we get into the kitty, and we'll figure it out. Hey, we are at the round table of the show, guys. This is where, if you want to, ladies and gentlemen, you can call in 904-458-7588, and you can ask us anything that you'd like to ask us. Hey, it may not even be related to the show. Hey, you may just want to congratulate Chief Johnson. You may want to talk about this cake that we got. You may want to just say hello to Byron Bagwell. You may want to say hello to Austin Stevens. Either doesn't matter to us. Hey, the phone lines are wide open for you. Well, you know, Austin, you know how it goes, man. You're so dadgum popular now, man. Channel 4 News wants you to do their weather. But anyway, hey, enough of that. Dwight Allen, hey, listen to this, Mike. Dwight Allen says, damn, I even worked it and still got the date wrong. Oh, boy. I started Dwight Allen for us. Yeah, Patriot, yeah.
We're getting old, bro.
Yeah, we're getting old. All right, so, anyway, phone lines are open, 904-458-7588. Hey, just real quick while we're waiting on some phone lines, hey, just give us a little tad what you're going to be talking about. Just a little scoop.
Going to talk about some things going on with the Department of Education
All
and
right.
Metro County School Board. Also, an accident that happened on University and 16th Street.
Yep.
Upcoming event.
Yep.
And then I'm going to lead my frustration into Byron's segment.
Okay. Well, Byron, how about that? Since he's going to lead that in, what do you have? Just a little teaser.
Well, of course, we're going to talk about the 13 service members that were murdered.
Yep.
We're going to talk a little bit about what Joe Biden is going to do about this.
Okay.
And I have serious questions about
that. Okay.
Yeah, I have serious questions about that. What's going on behind all this stuff that's going on right now in Afghanistan and what's being paid attention is another thing I'm going to talk briefly about.
Okay.
And if I can get to it, we're going to have a little discussion about why we left armament in Afghanistan.
Oh boy,
that's going to be a hot topic.
Yeah, all right.
Speaking of that, hot topic.
The Taliban and ISIS, and guess who else? A name I haven't heard since Osama bin Laden was basically killed. Al-Qaeda today.
Yep, I did too.
Yeah.
Yep, I heard that too. All right, well, we're going to get to that and much more And we're going to go to What's the Scoop right after this commercial break.
Community happenings and topics with our own local voice on current events, Mr. Mitchell Gunter.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, we're going to talk about an event that's coming up this weekend at Bella Oaks. It's the Bella Oaks Labor Day weekend. This is going to take place on Saturday starting at 3 p.m. with a car cruise-in. And then they're going to have Chase Collins performing live at 6 p.m. The location of the event will take place at 11,800 block of Southwest 157th Lane there in Brooker, Florida. The zip is 32622 in case you want to put that on your MapQuest to find your way there. The city of Stark tonight, as Michael just mentioned and we just mentioned, Chief Jeff Johnson will keep his seat as Chief of Police. And I tell you what, they were full force out there today on State Road.
They were
100 and 301 and 16 and 301. With their signs trying to get people to go vote. And I hope it was a really good voters turnout. Usually voters turnout does not do very well on those elections when it's only dealing with two individuals instead of everybody else because they were unopposed. But let's just hope that it turned out. And if it didn't, next time, please get off your couch. Go down there and vote. It's your right to do so. Don't give up your right to have your voice be heard.
Take 30 minutes out of your evening.
Yeah, it won't kill you. Also, in Clay County, the community came out to pay their respects for a Clay County deputy, Clint Siegel, that had passed away along the side of Blanding Boulevard on this past Monday. It's always great to see citizens go out there and show support for that fallen officer's family, and he's going to be definitely missed. In Gainesville on Monday, August the 30th, an 18-year-old man was hit and drugged after being hit by a semi-truck. The 18-year-old UF football player was driving a moped in an undesignated area when the semi turned and hit him. This happened at Northwest 16th Street and University Avenue. He looks like he will recover from his injuries.
Good.
Did have quite a bit of damage to his foot and shoulder after being drugged. So I hope he gets well. Especially being a football player, and I hope he learned a lesson. Do not drive a moped in an undesignated area. And while we're talking about that, the city had put in a lot of speed table tops all along University Avenue to try to slow down drivers in that area. But to me, what I have seen lately is not the drivers that are making the mistake. It is the pedestrians, the students that go to school there. They're not using the crosswalks. They'll just dart right out in front of you. Well, guess what? You can put all the tabletops that you want there to slow people down. But if you cannot stop these students from crossing the road illegally, they're going to get hit.
Yeah.
The thing is, what they should do is start ticketing them.
Yep.
What do they ticket them for?
Jaywalking.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but that wouldn't be fair.
Well,
That wouldn't be fair to them at all.
Anyway, I don't want to beat this thing too much, but hey, I used to drive a FedEx truck through there and used to deliver at University of Florida. It didn't matter where they were at; they thought it was a right of way everywhere. It didn't matter; they cross in front of you. Hey, it's your responsibility to stop. If you hit one of them, more than likely, even though, like you said, it could be considered jaywalking. It's probably not going to be. They're going to figure out that you're at fault somehow or another because, of course, they figure they own all the roads and everything else that goes right through that place. So I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Then we're going to get into something that's been a hot ticket here lately over in Alachua County. Sorry to talk about Alachua County a lot, but there's a lot of news going on over there with the mask mandates that's being handed down by the school board and what the governor's office is saying, and also the commissioner of education. The Florida Commissioner of Education has announced that he will withhold funds from the Alachua County Public Schools, and this is a result of with them withholding funds will equal the salaries of 4 school board members. That's how much money that they will be holding back each month from the school. You know, we did have a judge that ruled that DeSantis could not correct that, but since legislation says they have to abide, well, the governor can get the Board of Education to go in there and do that. And matter of fact, the commissioner said they can even, with him and the State Board of Education, can take further action. And what he's meaning by that further action is those people on that board, the superintendent and assistant superintendent, can be removed from their duties, and they have the right to appoint people in those positions.
Wow.
So he's making it very clear if they want to play this horse and pony show, so can they.
Yeah.
And that's what needs to happen. They need a lesson, is what Alachua County needs. They need a very harsh lesson, because
right.
they think they can do whatever they want to.
And the whole mask thing, if you want to send your kid with a mask, send that child to school with a mask. If you think they need to be protected, protect them. If the parent says, hey, my son doesn't need it, or hey, my kids are already over to 12 years of age and they've got vaccinated, I don't see the need of them wearing a mask. And then you have the problem that we were talking about last Tuesday night of the young kid that had medical documents stating that he could not wear a mask because of medical reasons, and the bus driver wouldn't pick him up and take him to school. See, to me, that bus driver ought to be reprimanded, or he or she should lose their job, because what's documented by that doctor is what they should have to go by.
Now, let me ask something, Mitchell, on that. Did the bus driver know? Was there a note handed to the bus driver? Did the bus driver know?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The mother was
present there.
Present, talked to the bus driver, and she had brought it up to their transportation department as well. And I haven't heard any more, but I bet you it got straightened out really fast after it hit, Channel 20 and Channel 4 News, and
I'm sure.
we talked about it as well. It spreads like wildfire, stuff like that. On this past Monday, Ron DeSantis made an announcement that monoclonal antibody site to open in Alachua County, and this site is at Fellowship Christian Church in High Springs. It is open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if you want to take part in that, have at it. It's your body. You should be able to do what you need to do for yourself.
Right.
And that's the whole thing with the vaccines. That you can get those vaccines anywhere here in the state of Florida. CVS, Walgreens, Publix, Winn-Dixie, you name it, Wise, drugstores. You can get it done. But with saying that, I shouldn't tell you that you should go get it.
That's correct.
You should make that choice up to yourself if you want to go get it or not.
Right.
And go ahead and let everybody know, I've already got my first shot. I went and got it. No side effects except for a sore arm. But I shouldn't tell y'all what y'all should do. Y'all should make that up to your own choice.
And we shouldn't tell you that you shouldn't have got it either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Exactly. That's choice.
You shouldn't be hasty toward a person either way. It's that person's right to choose.
And here's the thing. If you choose to do that, like they're saying, you choose to do that. We all have that right in this country, and it's trying to be trampled on by people who are politically correct.
Right.
And who are trying to actually scare people half to death. It's like this mask thing. They're not that effective at stopping this virus, especially if it's been aerosolized like they're acting like it is because the size of a virus particle will go straight through one of those masks.
Right.
Well, and I tell you, Byron, I'm glad that you brought up that point because I want to talk about masks real quick. Now, if you have a cloth mask that you use and you wash it every other day or every day, that mask is only good for 2 weeks and you must discard it and start off with another mask.
Right.
And that is from the CDC that tells you that you have to do that. Paper mask, hey, if you take them off and lay them down on a table or fall on the floor, throw them things in the trash and grab you another one because you're actually going to pick something else up besides coronavirus and you don't know what it's going to do.
They're single-use masks. Paper masks are supposed to be used one time and thrown in the garbage can.
Mike?
Well, I just want to echo what Byron was saying because in the last 48 hours, 72 hours, I've been taking a beating from a number of people who said that I should really push for, the vaccinations and that sort of thing like that because of what has happened personally and it happened, just over 24 hours ago. And I mean, I'm getting it from multiple sides too, including family members. And I have to concur with Byron. It's a choice, and I'm seeing just enough information that's maintaining my questioning of the virus. The potential threat of sterility in women.
Right.
Yes.
The impacts it could have on children as they mature through puberty. Do I believe that it's a huge benefit for seniors? Yes, I do. Is it something that I might consider in the future? Probably so. But someone questioned me. They were like, well, you got polio vaccinations, you got measles and mumps, and that's correct. But you know what? Measles, mumps, rubella, and polio were not viruses.
That's correct.
And they had years of research and testing to go into this one. Mm-hmm. It is and you know what? If the vaccination worked for a virus, then why do we keep having the flu every year?
So does smallpox. The smallpox, everybody's vaccinated by the smallpox. Smallpox virus. So these viruses have been studied. The vaccines have been studied for years. We know what the side effects are of those from years of study. Now, what I've heard is the FDA is actually going to approve one of these vaccines for regular use after a year. They're breaking their own policies by doing that.
Right.
None of this makes any sense logically, and I understand people are dying. But you go back and you start looking at these numbers, I'm sorry, it doesn't warrant everything that we're doing. It still doesn't warrant everything that we're doing. Because the number of deaths to the number of people who have caught this do not warrant the actions that we're doing. It just doesn't. And what we need to do is we need to go back and we need to update the actual percentage of people who have died that have caught this. Is what we need to do, and you'll start to understand. Then what we need to do is we need to take the numbers of American citizens to the number of people who have died, and you'll start to understand that. To the number of people who've recovered. If you want to take the vaccine like we were saying. But at the same time, if I want to look at it from a logical standpoint and say, I don't want to take it because my chances of dying for this are minuscule.
Well, Byron, the one thing that is going on right now is that you have 200 plus employees with the city of Gainesville that is suing because they are making it mandated for you to be vaccinated. If you don't get vaccinated, you can be terminated from your job.
Yep.
So what this is going to do, if these 200 people plus people, if over 65% of them are all in the drop already,
they're gone.
They're going to say the heck with this if they don't win their lawsuit, and they're going to be short-staffed until they fill those positions. And some of these people work out at Deer Haven, which is the power generating plant, the coal burning plant there. Can you imagine, just say 100 people say, you know what, we're just going to retire and walk out?
Yeah.
Who's going to operate that plant?
Yeah.
He's going to
have a
the
good time in the
experience.
dark, Gainesville.
He's going to have the experience to do that. So
Well, you're going to ask other employees that are
Like
already
you're not
doing
already
jobs.
in the dark.
You know, that's a good one. Sorry. You're going to ask other employees that are doing their jobs to you know
Do
what
more.
I mean, to do more
With the same pay.
Exactly
with the same pay.
Yeah, with the same pay.
Well, my thing is, if this lawsuit fails, everybody's going to see that the city could make them get vaccinated or lose their jobs, and then it's going to go over to Alachua County, and Alachua County is going to mandate it for their employees, and they're going to have to get vaccinated, and it'll spread like wildfire.
Yes, it will.
I have a question. I want to pose to Byron, well, to everyone, but I'm just saying. So, and I may be way off base here.
Okay.
If you are being told that you must do this to keep your job or to advance in your job, but in the same breath, someone says, if you are a victim of sexual harassment because you're being coerced into doing something to keep your job or maintain your job, then what's the fine line between the two? Because as far as I'm concerned, I would say that if I'm being harassed at work and being threatened with my job because I'm not doing what my boss tells me to, whether it is on one end of that scale or the other, I would presume that the federal law would protect me, wouldn't it?
Well, there's a fine line there, and I've already checked with legislation, and the way it's wrote up, government entities have the right to mandate their employees to get stuff and get it done. But when you go to the private sector,
And I was just getting ready to say
OSHA is backing up the private sector employees to protect them. But government entities do not have OSHA in their, in their lives.
And here we go again. I've used this, and again, sort of Michael's perspective here, and that is, I work for a privately owned company that is publicly traded on the stock market, okay? Which a lot of private companies are.
Right.
Okay, so if my company comes back and rewrites the handbook that they hand out every October and says, hey, you will need to get the vaccine
Right.
if you want to continue to work here, and I have to sign that handbook every year. They take that page every year. What if I sign that and say, okay, then I have to go get the vaccine to keep my job, right? But what if I say no? Where's my protection at there? I'm gone. I'm gone. Hit the brakes, David. Hey, thank you for your 10 or 12 years, brother. We appreciate it, but you're now gone. And that's where I think, Michael, Byron, where is the protection here? Is there any, and is there any legal recourse without taking forever that you can, you know what I'm saying?
Well, the federal government made their employees go get vaccinated.
Yeah,
And there we go. Is the government
military.
that's not private sector though, is it?
and I'm not.
No.
I'm not.
See, that's what I'm saying.
It's its own government.
It's its own
entity,
government entity.
just like the county and city government and state government.
The state government can't do that because they basically said there's basically a law in Florida that says that you have the right to refuse any type of medical treatments.
Okay.
Now, that's the state government. That's not county governments,
Right.
which is what Mitchell was talking about. So the state government can't mandate
No.
that that people have to take vaccines. It gets
Well, and their legislation says private sector, so it doesn't say anything about the state in the legislation.
Yeah.
And they can't implement it, but we got a governor that will not do so.
Our government, yes.
Yeah,
our
governor will not
our
do so.
governor's not going to do that. That would be some of that lawyerese goings on with that to get that to happen. But that's not going to happen. The bottom line is, what you need to think about is this: do you want to work for a company or a person that will violate your personal liberties in that fashion? Now, I understand that if you've worked for somewhere for 15 years and they come in and say that you've got to do that.
then you're probably going to do that because you want to keep your job and you want to keep on working towards your retirement.
You better
Yes,
believe it.
you better believe it.
I understand that, but at the same time, I take that from my company and I get ill from it. There's a lawsuit coming.
Exactly.
There's a lawsuit coming.
I'm
The
glad
only
you
bad
said
thing
that.
is, if you read the paperwork, you cannot sue. You cannot sue the person that you're working for, neither.
But and you're exact. You know, there's probably a fine line with
If
everything.
you read it, you read a page like this and you sign it.
Now again, I'm with
Actually,
Byron.
won't sign the form.
I'm look. If I'm mandated to take that vaccine by my company, okay, to continue to work toward my retirement, as you and Byron and Michael and everybody has said, what kind of employee am I going to be from here toward my retirement?
Disgruntled.
Exactly. I'm going to go in there and do exactly what I have to do, right?
That's it.
Right, and go home.
And go home and, hey, David, can you help us out with the company picnic? Nope.
Nope.
Busy that week, right, Mike?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what? And I think that's where Byron was going with that. What kind of? He's going to continue to work. He's going to continue to do his job.
8 in the gate.
Yeah, 8 in the gate. That's exactly right. So, you got anything
Sure,
else?
but,
Sharon
we
Pepper
got-
wanted me to ask you a question.
Sure.
She says, Mitchell, I am having a problem getting the company who broke 2 large chunks out of our driveway in July to take responsibility for it and repair the damage. This was not done by an individual. How do I contact you if I need your help? I am going to give them 1 more week to come out here and get this done. Tell her how she can get
Where's
over
she
it.
at?
She's off of Wilson, right down the road from Mike, old house.
All right. Just give me a call at 904-966-1386 or shoot me a text at that same number.
Okay, there you go, right there. Or she can catch you on Messenger or whatever, right, Mike?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Catch me on Facebook.
Yeah.
I got 2 Facebook pages, but use the one where Zane's with his favorite driver in the picture. Use that one.
Yeah, use that one, yes. All right,
mostly.
I'm sorry, Mitch.
Oh, that's fine. Just wanted to touch on some upcoming meetings that are very important. The Bradford County Commissioners will hold their next meeting on September the 6th at 9:30 a.m. Yes, that is a morning meeting.
Okay.
The discussion probably will still talk about funding for fire and EMS. That will probably go on. There probably will not be any decisions made. They try not to make those decisions except on the night meetings, so a lot more people can attend those and bring their ideas or speak upon before the vote is made. The next City of Stark Commissioner meeting is set for September the 7th at 5:30. Mike, they still having the meetings at 5:30? Are they still rolled back? Okay, so they're still rolled back to 5:30, and the reason why they did that is so they could get everything in the meeting,
Right.
and not keep people really late in the afternoon.
Mike
So-
said I've been to a couple a while back, but Mike usually goes. Mike, how long some of those meetings last?
I've there's been a couple of meetings that I wish I'd brought a pillow.
Oh, God.
Yeah, some of them will last a few hours.
Like 3-4 hours?
Easily.
Ooh, boy.
Oh, and I think I have one more thing.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I
do you want to
Yes,
read
I
that
do.
right there? Look at that.
Sure, we can hit on that real quick.
Sure.
To go ahead and let everybody know, there was 910 votes casted. Johnson had 537 votes, which is 59%, and Murray had 373 votes, which was 41%, to just kind of show you how close the race actually was.
Hey, it was so funny because, we all sat here and talked about this weeks leading up to this, and we were trying to figure out the numbers. I even asked Michael, you guys, Dave, we were trying and asking everybody how many people would go out and vote. We said right about 1,000. We figured 910 to be exact, as Michael just pulled up. And I said the winner was going to be 55-45. That's about as close as you could get it right there.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Just want to touch base, since we was talking about Gainesville a little earlier, they actually had a county commissioner meeting today, special meeting talking about COVID and about extending the countywide mask mandate. So they did extend it for another 7 days, and they are requiring that businesses put signage on their doors stating that you have to wear a mask while entering their store. I've been to several stores over in Gainesville, and guess what? None of them have signage on their doors.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, some of these are fast food places, and people's all standing inside with no mask. So their mask mandate for 7 more days is really not working. People wants to wear the mask, they'll wear it, and people who don't, they're going to continue not to wear it. You know, they can try to pass all these laws that they want to. You can't ticket somebody. The governor's already shot that down. You can't find them. So
Yeah. Well,
do
I can tell
what you
that-
got to do for yourself.
Right.
And one other thing before we lead over into Byron's segment is that I am very, very disappointed in our administration up in Washington, D.C. For the way that they handled everything in Afghanistan, leaving Americans behind. They said it could be up to 500. If you really look at the percentages that they're saying from the number that they have, it's definitely not 150, definitely not 200. It will actually be 500 citizens that were left behind the lines. And also those who, how about the one guy that actually helped in that helicopter crash to get some of those senators and stuff for safety, putting his life on the line. He actually also has 4 kids that live there, and they were supposed to get him out, and they left him behind as well. There is photos circulating over from Afghanistan that all these dogs that the military used, they just let them go and left them there. All the artillery that was left, the vehicles, I think 108 aircraft that was left behind. Talking about Black Hawks, your scout helicopters that are sometimes used by the Rangers. They also hold grenade launchers and stuff like that on them. We left a couple of C-130s. The C-130s actually do not fly, but still, they said they destroyed the technology that was there in them. But compared to some of the photos that the Taliban was posting on social media, they looked like they were pretty well intact inside.
Well, let me tell you this. You know what they're using them for, right? They was using a lot of that for storage space. That thing is so huge and stuff. They was using that to hide, to store their weapons, store artillery, like you said. That thing, we used to call it a hotel in the sky, man. Byron, I swear to God, I never thought these things would get up off the ground. But, man, when they get up and they go, they go. But they are huge. And
Right.
you can store numerous things in these cargo planes.
Oh, yeah.
And I can tell you that's what they were mainly using that for. That's probably why you were saying they're
Yeah,
not
well,
flyable.
the good thing is we didn't leave our C-17s behind.
Correct.
A C-17 can actually tote 4 Abram tanks,
Yes.
or up to 2 Apache helicopters.
Right.
The only thing is, the blades are folded to get them in the helicraft. Get them in the aircraft, and that's just how big those cargo planes are.
All right. Can I read this
Yes,
real
you
quick?
can.
Yeah.
You can touch
Michael did a great job of pulling up some things here for all of our Gulf Coast listeners here. Terrebonne and Lafourche Parish are destroyed, both utterly devastated, and that's the words. Plaquemines Parish had levees fall, severe flooding. Kramer Parish, levee failed, severe flooding. Jefferson Parish is without power, and water pressure is so close to nil because the roots of the uprooted trees have ripped out the water lines. This is straight from the goat right here. Levees failed. Water level was over 20 feet in Golden Meadows. Several people are still missing. Sewer and drainage has failed. New Orleans is without power. Sewer and drainage is failing. Water is expected to be lost soon, if not already. All 8 of the main power transmission lines are annihilated. The entire system fell in the river, guys. Cell towers are down everywhere. This goes for the vast majority of southeast Louisiana. And what's that? No communications at all.
Right.
Rescues are still being conducted for Hammond, Harvey, Marrero, and LaPlace. It's extremely bad, and the roads to get in and out are impassable. Matthews and Raceland have down trees and power lines all over the highway. Grand Isle, which everybody knows, has a group of 40 people that they lost communications with, and the entire island, Byron, was underwater.
Well, and Homa actually got hit pretty hard. I know Angel Sampé, Pro Stock Motorcycle Racer, she lives there, and they have a business there, and her husband stayed behind and said they had a lot of flooding in that area as well.
Okay. Now, and as if things could not get any worse, breaking story coming out of Louisiana was an elderly gentleman, 71 years of age, who had gone outside trying to assess damage and was attacked by a large alligator. His wife was able to intercede and get him up to the house. However, there was still water in that area. She realized his injuries were so severe, she went to go get help in a canoe. Paddling across the area took nearly an hour. When she returned with first responders, he was gone, as was the gator. The subject is still missing and presumed dead.
Yeah, it's
oh my God!
It's a real sad thing, because and people need to listen to this, because that can happen right here in Bradford County. If you look at that hurricane, how long that it stayed strong. A Category 3 that far inland is about the same distance from start to, say, St. Augustine.
Right.
And so, if we get a Category 4 hurricane, it could still possibly be a 3 or a really strong 2 when it reaches us. And when you have a lot of flooding like that, you have to be very careful of the wildlife, because they're very disturbed as well, and they're hungry.
Yes, they are. And I want to say something in accordance with this, too. Byron, Mitchell, we still live in the greatest country in the world today, right? No matter what we got going on, right?
Yes.
And let me tell you why I say that. Hey, you don't think when something like that happens, people are going to help? We've got services from everywhere going over there to help these people out. You don't think we still care about each other? Yes, I understand. This was devastating. This was catastrophic. And it was, sometimes it takes things like this to be able, to get people together to come and do these kind of things. And go ahead, Mike.
Hey, if I may interject.
Yes.
And I am confident that Mitchell is going to jump on this bandwagon with me. I agree with you, it was devastating. It was not unpredicted.
Correct.
This storm had a track. Austin, jump in here with me. This storm was tracking towards Louisiana 8 or 9 days in advance. We are in the 21st century, folks. Hurricane tracking. Now, we can't predict intensity, but we're pretty good on that track. And if you're 8 or 9 days out and you see that you're talking at a Cat 3, Cat 4 storm, and you're talking a week out, tell me that there was, in my opinion, just my opinion, a significant failure of leadership to adequately prepare the response for this type of a thing, for evacuation, because I have yet to hear it from anyone who said that the first nursing home, the first ACLF, any of these places were evacuated. And if power is going to be out for a week, they have not even scratched the surface on it, letting us know who is going to die as a result of this storm, a la Katrina, 16 years to the day that Katrina hit with the same type of response.
And you would think you would learn your lesson from Katrina, because when you go through emergency management, what do you do when you take what happened before, you rewrite those wrongs for the next storm, and it looks like those wrongs, not all of them got rewritten.
Hey, look, I'm going to brag a little bit, and forgive me for indulging in this one, but the Bradford County Sheriff's Office, Gordon Smith, has a lieutenant, Brad Witt, who is our EM director. We have already had a meeting to discuss, Tropical Storm Elsa. We've already made changes to improve our response to Elsa, and we didn't really get anything out of it.
Right.
We made steps to improve every time there's a storm. We rely on multiple sources, including Austin and other things like that, to prepare for and to improve on, whether it's sandbag distribution or something like that one. If we can do it, certainly they could.
Wait, hold on. What do we have in common between what happened in Katrina and what happened now? What is the common factor?
We have levees that fail, and
We
you have extreme flooding.
We have poor leadership in government positions.
Yeah,
Yes.
poor leadership
Yeah.
in government position. I'm going to
Yeah.
speak on this. We, as of me, weather nerd here, knew about this storm as early as the beginning of August. Actually, models were hinting towards this. As models were saying that it was going to happen during the Labor Day weekend, I was like, "Oh crud! I hope this doesn't happen." But it happened a week early in advance. But Renee,
Stay golf.
yeah, hopefully she's watching. I messaged her on like Thursday or Friday of last week saying, if you need to, please leave.
Get out, like Byron
Get out.
said.
I said it in exclamation points. I told her, get out. Tell David I sent you. Don't care what time you arrive at his house. Leave. I don't want you staying there. Because she's like, oh, I've survived 6 foot of storm surge. This thing, over the AWS monitors, we're saying up to 16 to 20 feet coming into Pascagoula. And I'm like, Pascagoula cannot survive that.
No way.
No way whatsoever. Right. Not even in storm surge at that magnitude. There was 8 feet. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Michael. There was 8 feet of storm surge over I-10.
That's correct. It was 7, 8 feet somewhere in those areas. Yeah,
Okay.
It's spot on. And they put the word out. Okay, everyone south of I-10, you need to evacuate. Folks, they said that 2.5 days before the storm made landfall. Traffic on I-10 was at a standstill for 200 miles.
And here's what's even more of a mess-up problem, is the government did not even put in mandates to where they could have a backflow traffic where all lanes, no matter where you
I
That
agree
is
with that.
right.
Well,
That
we talked
should
about
have
that.
happened.
That should. Great
Yes.
point, Austin.
Right
point.
there at probably Florida state line, they should have shut down
Yep.
the westbound traffic on I-10
Yep.
and had all lanes open from Louisiana all the way to Florida. I agree.
That is exactly what they should have done.
And that's what those interstates are built for, is for that emergency and
Yep.
for the U.S. military.
Yep.
And they should have pushed it to where all traffic that would flow west towards Texas, because even though you're going east, Florida was still not out of the neck of the woods of this storm. It was so big, and I knew this was going to blow up like this. It was so big at the fact that we had tropical storm force winds up to 100 miles an hour on the coast of Pensacola, Florida. And I don't care about political views here. Climate change is a problem. It does change. It's flowing just like water. But here, the storm did not have nothing to do with climate change. It was because the Gulf of Mexico has temperatures of 85 to 90 degrees, and the brown water effect happened. What that means is this storm went over the wetlands of Louisiana, which causes it to stay in intensity. Look at Hurricane Andrew back in
Was this
1992. It did it, too. It went over Fort Lauderdale, just south of Fort Lauderdale and Miami, and destroyed the NHC. They lost all track of it. But it went back out over the Everglades and intensified.
Yes.
Before it exited out Florida.
That's right.
Good point.
And like me and Michael talked, we were talking about, the recycling of the wall, the eye wall. Well, it done something that we didn't expect that it was going to do to form that double eye.
Yes.
And that double eye stayed, so that just made the hurricane force winds further out than what it was supposed to be. Yeah, we thought it would do a wall recycle and it would slow it down. We didn't expect for it to
form
double eyes.
No.
I just want to say hurricanes are something you need to respect.
Yeah.
I was with the Army down in Homestead for body recovery for Hurricane Andrew. We found a tugboat 16 miles inland on dry ground. A school bus folded in half in a house. Blades of grass were flying so fast through the air that they were stuck in concrete block walls.
Yep, that is true.
And the
I saw this with my own eyes.
Wow.
I have seen pictures of the hurricane he's talking about from the air.
Yeah.
That my father took when he was in the military. It looked like Germany.
Complete devastation.
It looked like Germany at during World War II after it had been carpet bombed.
And I'll give you the freakiest part of all. We were down there staying at the college, and across the street there was a trailer park that was level.
Right.
It was just the frames left that were tied to the ground. There was a single wide that was in the front that was completely devastated. Everything's gone. But the cheap little folding table in the kitchen was still there with the mail sitting on the table still.
That is crazy.
The whole house is gone, but the table's sitting there with the mail and cups, everything set up like they were just gonna.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Now,
Hurricanes are weird.
Well, the other thing that keeps on going through my head is an actual quote from a movie that most everybody has seen. And I can do this voice no justice. It was in the movie Poltergeist, I believe.
Yeah, Poltergeist.
Get out! Really? You have a hurricane that's bigger than 4 states coming towards you. Get out!
I'm going to say this as much as possible. If we get a hurricane of that magnitude that comes here at Florida, I won't, because I want the data on it to improve Austin's weather service to over-challenge the NHC. I love a good challenge. But we are taking the weather data from Ida to improve Austin's weather service, and then also hand that data down to Gordon Smith and Michael Heater for Bradford County, preparing for in case we have a problem like this.
All right. Mitchell?
Well, I tell you what, and that's the scoop for tonight. I'm Mitchell Gunter, and we'll be right back with the Byron Bagwell right after this message.
Schuster and Sabin is the leading firm in Florida with 8 offices from the Panhandle to the Florida Keys to handle your claims for personal injury, workplace violations, and PIP claims for medical professionals. Visit us online at www.piplaw.com or call 24 hours a day at 877-511-7829. Schuster and Sabin Law Offices for all your legal needs.
And now, with the latest national and international update, here is Your World Report with Byron Bagwell.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, patriots, infidels, and miscreants. I am the Byron Bagwell. And tonight, I really want to start with something that's a little bit serious. There was 13 of our service members murdered by the Taliban this last Thursday. And I think we should all give them at least a minute of silence to pray for their family and them, because we seem to be taking our service members for granted, and I don't quite understand why they weren't gone, but they weren't gone. So let's give them a minute of silence, please.
Byron, before you start, Lee's got a question for you.
Sure.
He says, what's your thoughts on what happens next as far as Biden's concerned? Do you think there has been a master plan from the start of his presidency to get him removed and the vice president elected? Do you think members of the government could have misinformed him on purpose for their own benefits?
I don't know what to believe when it comes to this group of people that we have in power now. I really don't. I would not put anything past them. I would also not put anything past Nancy Pelosi. If Kamala Harris is put in the president's office, she has committed acts in the state of California that can be viewed as high crimes and misdemeanors, and I would not put it past Nancy Pelosi to impeach her too. So anything's possible. I don't think Joe Biden's going anywhere unless something happens in 2022 and the Senate and the Congress actually flip. I think it's very possible that they impeach him if that happens. And I think it's very possible that they impeach her too. Because like I said, all you've got to do is go back and take a look at what she did in the state of California with the inmates and keeping them over their sentences, which is a crime. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I don't think that they're going to get rid of Joe Biden unless he just becomes so mentally incompetent that he just can't function at all. They can't prop him up in front of a teleprompter and tell him to read it. So that's pretty much my guess on that. This is how I wanted to start this evening out. I watched our president tell this nation that we are having all of our military out by the 31st. Military's gone. Completely gone from Afghanistan. And I also watched him, after 13 of our service members died, tell the United States of America, American public, and the Taliban that we are coming for you. We are going to find you. Now, something's not right with that. Because if our military's gone by the 31st, how are we coming after them?
Yeah.
Now, very wise men tell me you don't believe that we don't still have assets there. And we do still have assets there. They're not going to tell you that we do, but we do. But still, the President of the United States, once again, lied to the American public and said our military is completely gone. Military is not completely gone. I guarantee you there's still special forces there. The point of this being, even though that's happened, how do you expect our special forces to do this when they have no backup system? They're going to go in, hit a couple groups, and disappear into the night without any way to get in and out of Afghanistan? So you're going to send special forces units in on a suicide mission? How are you going to do it? Please tell me how you're going to do that, Mr. President. And I use that term loosely.
I'm going to tell you how I do it.
Oh, I know how I would do it at this point.
Hey, give me some airstrike, baby.
No. Turn those keys out there in the middle of nowhere. Launch a couple ICBMs. Glass parking lot. Done.
Turn it to glass.
You can't do
Probably
that. You can't do that in Afghanistan because of where it's located.
And we haven't done that before?
Oh,
well, we have done that. We have done it before.
before.
But you can't do that because of the geopolitical nature of Afghanistan. What you do is you have a military base in Afghanistan and you keep a military force in it, like we've done since World War II in Germany and other places in Europe.
Korea.
Really? We're just going to remove everybody and give the Taliban everything and give them our technology. That stuff is not stripped. They're flying the helicopters around.
Hanging people, by the way.
Maybe that there's so many different groups. Maybe they'll kill each other off.
Bull.
They'll unite and become one front.
Well, what will happen is they'll unite and become one front until they've killed everybody that they think needs to be killed.
Right.
And then they'll start to have the infighting, and one group will actually rise, and then you'll have your good little terrorist cell that's supported by Iran and Indonesia and anywhere else that wants to support that type of activities. And once again, we are going to get attacked because, may not be next year, but 10 years down the road when they have assets everywhere because we can't secure our own border, they have assets everywhere in this country, we're going to have another 9/11 style attack or even worse because of incompetence.
Hey, you know the 20th year's coming up.
Oh, I know that.
And
they know that too.
They know it. And don't be surprised. I don't want to see it. Of course, nobody wants to see it. Don't be surprised.
Our guard is down now.
Our guard is down.
Okay, now, yes, and we've gotten a little bit away from the question. Can anybody tell me how we're going to do that without getting more Americans killed? Can you please tell me how this country is going to do that? We're going to use drones
You got
and blow a bunch of people up and get to listen to the media and certain people from the other side go, they killed some kids. Yeah, they killed a terrorist and his kids who he was training to go kill Americans and anybody that did not believe religiously like he does. You want to know what these type of people do? All you got to do is go talk to somebody who was in Iraq for a little while when they first went in and talk about how kids would run out with bomb vests on and blow themselves up to kill the infidels. Mm-hmm. So all you got to do. These people are evil. Not all of them. But the people that are doing what is going on in Afghanistan right now are evil. They're flying people around on nooses in our helicopters. Dangling from our helicopters. How do you do that to a human being? You know, there is no media in Afghanistan anymore either. I wonder why there's no media in Afghanistan. Can somebody please tell me why?
They don't want the world to see what's going on.
They don't want the world to see what's going on. They don't want to hear the screams. And I'm using something that's very graphic right now, but they don't want our civilized society to see what those barbarians are doing to their own people and any American they can find. Mitchell said something about the number's probably more like 500. I don't know that they know that, Mitchell. I don't know that this.
I don't think they know nothing.
I don't think this administration and the people that have been put in by this administration to run this are competent enough to know how many Americans there are. I heard something, I swear to you, I did not get this from Mark Levin because on my way in I wanted to throw something at the radio because he went over a lot of what I'm talking about right now. I heard our president sit there and go, oh, most of these people have dual citizenship anyway.
Yeah, trying to make excuses for this.
What type of racist crap is that? And I said it. What type of racist crap is that?
And not only that, Byron, the names of the U.S. citizens that were left behind, the Taliban's got the list of the citizens that were left behind, and they can use that as their hit list and go kill them.
They were
They're going door to door right now.
Our own government handed it over.
It was given to them. You can hand over that to the Taliban, but you can't tell the Afghan government.
There's an article of treason.
The Bagram base that we just gave to them. We gave to them. They didn't know. NATO didn't know. Nobody knew. Nobody knew that we were turning these bases over. How do you not tell our allies that? But you can give a list of American citizens to the Taliban?
That right there's a treason.
No, they'll get away with it because we're no longer at war in Afghanistan. You can't commit treason unless we're at war with somebody.
Yeah.
But it can be considered an impeachable act, and the Democrats know that, and the Republicans know that. So,
but you got Democrats calling for the impeachment as well.
Yeah.
Now,
it's not just the right. You got the left side calling for some impeachments.
Here's the problem with all of this. Look, we are looking at a utter disaster. An honest to God's disaster for this country, politically, militarily. We are looking at a humanitarian disaster for Afghanistan and for America because there are still American citizens still there. Whether they have dual citizenship or not and they're brown skin or not, doesn't matter. They're got American citizenship. They're college students at the college in Kabul.
Right.
Yep.
That list was given to the Taliban too, which is how can you give a list of young girls to these savages who you know what they're going to go do to
They're going to kill them because they're educated.
They're going to do worse, Mitchell.
And then kill them.
I didn't want to go into details like that.
No, we don't have to. But they know.
But no, we do need to go into some of it. I'm not going to get explicit with it. But people need to understand this. These people are savages. They're savages. And people can say what they want to about, oh, they're human beings. We're going to be diplomatic about it. And we're going to do this, that. Tell me, how did we get along with being diplomatic with ISIS? Did you see the videos of them burning people alive in cages? You haven't, I have. How were we diplomatic with a certain Osama bin Laden?
Al-Qaeda, yeah.
Who was basically handed to Bill Clinton on a silver platter by Pakistan. Nope, we don't want him. Years later, he blows up the Twin Towers.
Yep.
Look at what they do to people. Seriously, look at what these people do to people. They understand one thing, and that is force. And we're doing all of this, and we're saying we're going to be diplomatic with those people. And it's not, like I said, it's not all of them. There are people in Afghanistan that actually helped us because they don't want people like this in control of them. They will have nothing or they will be dead.
They gave them that list too.
They gave them that list too. So their families, their wives, their children,
They will kill them all.
They're going to kill them all is what's going to happen. So you want to talk about being humanitarian, you want to talk about caring about human life. We supposedly elected a president and a party that has put people in power that will allow this to happen. Your vote matters. Your vote mattered for the president, and this is what happened because of the vote. The vote. Elections have consequences. When you elect people that are incompetent and are incapable of handling a situation like this, this is what's going to happen. Think about what you do when you vote. I don't care about Donald Trump's mean tweets. We didn't have anything like this happening over the previous administration, did we? Did you see Americans dying anywhere other than some of our military members, and those numbers decreased greatly? Did you see any of that happening? No, you didn't. So what I'm saying to you is really simple. This group that has been put into power right now has no business being anywhere near power, period. I am sorry, this man is incompetent that is sitting in the White House.
And some of those generals, they should be stripped, court-martialed.
The generals that allowed this to happen because they were appeasing our president and appeasing a political party and appeasing its constituents. There's no honor. There is no honor in anybody that would do something like that. That is a political person that just wants political power and wants money. That's all there is to that. And people can get mad at me if they want to for saying that. But this is life and death. This isn't somebody's mean tweet. This is life and death. And we sit back and watch what is going on right now. Can you honestly look at yourself in the mirror and say that this man is fit to be the president of the United States of America after what has gone on in Afghanistan?
When a leader, Byron, goes up to a podium to discuss stuff, and he puts his elbows on the podium and puts his head in his hands like this, he is defeated. He is a defeated person. There is no strength there.
There was no strength to begin with, Mitchell. The man can't speak a full sentence. And we've been seeing that since the runoffs for the Democratic presidential nomination. He can't speak a full sentence. He has a vice president that called him a sexual predator, who is a political hack who only wants power. Called him a sexual predator on stage, and then turns around and is vice president, and people voted for that type of crap.
I was just not to really detract from that sort of thing, but I had a quick question about there. I had someone ask me what would be the top 3 times that you would not want to look at your watch. One of them being obviously during a wedding, the other one being during a funeral, and one time when you're standing next to the caskets of dead American soldiers when you're receiving them back from overseas.
I did not. Did he really do that?
He stopped and the cats were there, and he stopped to look at his watch while he was trying to. Yeah.
Yes,
he did.
He got it on video.
Yeah.
And the mothers of those fallen soldiers
add disrespectful as crap to that.
And those mothers of those fallen soldiers said they don't want nothing to do with him. They don't want him to come around them. He can just stay where he's at. They don't want to associate with him. And the one mother was very irate, and I liked her points of view that she pointed out.
Look, I don't know that Joe Biden is all there. I really don't. I watch what he does, and it from being around people who have dementia and Alzheimer's, it makes me believe that man at least has some dementia. I work in the medical profession where I'm around people who have dementia and have Alzheimer's. Some of the things he does is I mean, the symptoms are there. That's beyond the point. We have a political party in this country that would put somebody in the position to run for the highest office of our land that's that way.
Well,
and then we have people that will vote for him. That is what makes me the maddest of all. You have to vote for a person that's competent. The man's not competent.
Do you know what? Hang on real quick, Mitchell. You know what makes me furious more than anything? He has not come out and said that he was at fault on any of this.
He's not going to.
On any of it. Nothing. He is sitting there, what'd you say? With his head in his hands. Like he said, defeated. Look, hey, if you, look, we all make mistakes, and I don't want to say this is, don't let me downplay this, okay? I know everybody makes mistakes, okay? All right, I would have more respect if he come and said, American people, I messed up, and I messed up severely. And then come out and say how him and his people are going to fix the problem.
Exactly.
David, you wouldn't do this. You wouldn't have ever done this. You would have put people around you that would have given you good advice, and we would not be in this situation. And yes, Jennifer, you are absolutely right. He is not running this country.
No,
it's the people who are pulling his strings behind this that are doing exactly what they want to, that are destroying anything and everything that's great about this country. That is exactly right.
And I'll tell you why. Because a couple of days ago, remember he was in a little presser and he was up there talking. He says, I have been instructed that I need to call whoever it was with CBS News after I get done here.
Sure. It's.
Was that the same one where he said where he was speaking and he couldn't remember the name of the Pentagon?
The Pentagon.
Well, he can't remember half of that. And then he calls the one guy boy.
I get that was terrible too. Look.
Curtis, I can't think of the last name of the guy, but for FEMA, isn't it correct? Yeah. Called him boy. My boy.
Well, that's like making the comment about people with dual citizenship. Oh, they're mostly citizens with dual citizenship. I'm sitting there thinking, they're still American citizens.
Does it matter?
They still have our rights. What's the matter with you? But see, the problem with this is, my ire is not mostly at Joe Biden, because Joe Biden does not know what Joe Biden is doing. My ire is at the Democrat Party for even allowing somebody to be put in that position and then to be controlled by, who knows? Do you know who is controlling Joe Biden? Is Joe Biden
Soros?
Look at Joe Biden, and you tell me he's under control of himself.
No, I know
And he
who's
knows
controlling.
what he's doing. Can somebody please tell me how a man that can't remember the name of the Pentagon, or calls people boys because he can't remember their name,
Or can't find the front door to the White
or
House.
can't find the front door to the White House, or I can keep on going. It's over and over and over and over and over again. Are you telling me
It's sad.
that's what's running our country? And
It's
you're
sad.
happy about that's what's running our country?
It's sad.
If that's the case, I'm sorry. If that was a Republican sitting in that office, I would be calling on my party.
Absolutely. Removed.
Use the 25th Amendment. Remove that person.
Remove him. Yeah. He's not competent. He's not making competent decisions.
And he has not
Does
taken
not
that.
matter whether
And he
he
has
got
not taken that
authorized
test
or not.
either.
Jennifer's got a little point here.
Doesn't matter.
Byron.
He's not going anywhere.
Ms. Kamek, Representative Kamek, as she said they were trying to get Americans out. The Biden administration gave the names to the Taliban, those people that became targeted, and she had to watch a video of their interpreter getting executed. What?
Yes.
That is just pure out evil by the Taliban, but we already know they were evil. But she has to sit there and watch her interpreter getting executed.
Being executed.
Yeah.
This is the responsibility of the Democrat Party. The whole thing that's going on right now is their responsibility. They are the ones that are responsible for this. It is not just Joe Biden, because Joe Biden does not have the mental capability to run this country. The people that are advising him, that are in the Democrat Party, are responsible for this. The Democrat Party itself is responsible for even allowing a man who's not capable of being the president to be the president of the United States. They should have looked at Joe and went, Joe, you can't do this. Joe's wife should have looked at Joe and went, Joe, you can't do this.
Especially when he called her his daughter or
his
something.
daughter. Call her,
And it's his wife.
It's his wife. How can you not look at your husband and go, honey, you go back, go back. We're going back home, and you can advise people from home. If you want to talk to people about politics, you can advise them from home. You don't let people that can't do this job, and he can't. He can't. I have never felt like this about any president. I felt like some of them were doing the wrong things. Barack Obama, I thought, was doing the wrong things.
There's a difference between wrong and totally incompetent.
This is, well, it's incompetence. It is. He's incapable of doing the job. I've never been in my almost 50 years of life in a position where I'm looking at a president and going, he can't be the president. He's not competent to be the president, and this man is not competent to be the president. What do we do? What do we do, guys? I mean, seriously, what do we do?
We eventually, me and you sort of talked about this, and I talked to this a little bit with Mitchell. Eventually, you know, you'd asked me, how do we fix this problem? And we talked about how do we finally, somewhere down the line, Mitchell, us as American citizens,
Going to have to put her foot
down and say enough is enough.
No, look.
But how do you do that?
It is fundamentally un-American to allow a political party to function in the manner that the Democrat Party is functioning under the Joe Biden administration.
And
they are controlling the President of the United States by proxy. The President of the United States is the head of the United States. It is fundamentally un-American to allow a political party to do what they are doing. They all should be removed, every single one of them, from the political landscape, period.
I tell you right now, Byron, the Republicans are going to take the House back.
Oh, that's coming.
And they are going to take the Senate back.
But
it's coming.
The problem is, Mitchell,
we have to wait.
we have to wait on that for another year, and there's no telling how much more damage that's going to happen in that year to this country. The problem is how do we, as an American public, after watching what they've done with this president, can we allow them to continue to function as a political entity in this country if they're going to do things like that? Because what that tells me is all they care about is power. They don't care about the United States of America.
The problem
they don't care about its citizens. All they care about is money and power.
The problem with the Democratic Party is they're a split party within themselves.
Yeah, well,
I mean, they are. They're a split party. There's the radicals, and then there's the conservative Democrats. They're split.
Is there such thing as a moderate Democrat?
Well, moderate. Yes, they are some, because they are actually those people are calling for his resignation.
Here's the thing: if you're talking about the 3 or 4 that Nancy Pelosi was really concerned about over the budget that they just passed, they didn't turn out to be moderates. They went right ahead and voted for a 3.5 or 3.7
because she had something on those $4
trillion budget that was more like actually 5 or more. Kat was talking about that the other night. Yeah. They folded. They said they weren't going to vote for it. Nancy Pelosi went and put pressure on them, and they folded. So is there really any such thing as a moderate Democrat anymore? This is why I went running from this party too, by the way.
Well, that was great. We could go on and on and on and on, and we could. And we could spin this thing 50,000 different ways, and it all comes back to one thing, doesn't it, Byron?
Power and money.
Money. Yep, that's exactly right.
It has nothing to do with the welfare of the United States and its citizens and these people's constituents.
No.
It has to do with their power and their money.
Right.
And there are Republicans out there like that, too. I'm sorry, there are Republicans out there like that too. We need to fix the problems in our own house too, because we've got some issues with some of our leadership that needs to take a hike, especially the ones that have ties to the Chinese government through their wife.
Uh-oh.
You didn't know about that?
Yeah.
No, I knew about that.
The majority leader of the Senate, his wife actually is Chinese, and she has ties to the CCP.
So. All right, I'm just going to read a couple. I just want to read a couple of comments here. Sharon Pettiford says Biden is a president in name only. Jennifer Dodge says it's a distraction. McGee says, Robert McGee, speaking of watches, a stopwatch is correct twice a day. The president never corrected by.
Robert,
Robert, he's on it tonight, isn't he?
You're on a roll. I want to laugh about this, but this to me is it's past that.
It's past laughing about it, but also
this is unacceptable. It's unacceptable, is what it is.
Very disrespectful.
I'm disgusted. I am plumb disgusted, disappointed, let down, not proud of my government at this point. I am not at all.
I'm very proud of the United States of America. I'm very proud
of our Constitution.
I'm proud of our Constitution. Hey, I'm
not
government right now.
Hey, my son-in-law right now is on a ship right now, outside of all this garbage. And I'm gonna tell you right now.
Oh my God, David, I'm sorry.
Outside of all this garbage, and that's all I can say about it.
The best way I've seen it phrased is I am proud of my country, but I'm ashamed of my government.
Yeah, and that's very true. And I want to finish this up real quick. My son is out there patrolling these waters and this area.
God bless.
And I'll tell you right now, if something happens to them or any of that crew, do you think I'm going to be one livid SOB?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I am. Because why? As Byron said, this should have never, ever, ever happened.
Talk about a new definition to a Category 5 hurricane.
Or any of y'all's people that's out there, serving. You know what I'm saying? It's utter garbage. And like Byron said 2 weeks ago when this stuff was going down, This should have never, ever happened, period.
He created the largest vacuum ever.
Ever.
Well, and that's not
That makes sense. That's insane.
that's not 100%. That's not 100% true, because we had a president 2 presidents ago that did the same thing basically in Iraq,
Yeah.
and was aiding Syrian rebels that ended up becoming ISIS, and then ISIS went into Iraq. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
So this party has a history of doing nonsense like this. Of course, Iraq wasn't anywhere near as bad because we had some generals in place that went, we can't do this way. We're going to get people killed, and we're going to get people that in this country that have helped us killed. So it didn't go down like this, at least. But it's every single time that there is a person with a D behind their registration in the presidency, we have something like this going on in the world, we end up with something like this. I mean, every single time. I mean, I can go back to one of the shining lights of the heroes of the Democrat Party, and one of the best presidents the Democrat Party's ever had, and that was JFK.
Hey, yep.
And he escalated the Vietnam War. He's the one that sent troops there because he was afraid he was going to look weak on foreign policy. He's the one that escalated the Vietnam War, which was another disaster.
Sure.
So, I mean, every single time. Every time.
And boy, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of great responses here, a lot of great comments. And I'm sorry we're not going to be able to get to all of them, but we're going to be continuing this conversation. And of course, as this situation moves forward, we're going to be on top of it, that's for sure. Byron, great report tonight. Way to be on it. Mitchell, you did a great job on your segment. Really quick, Austin, give us a quick weather report.
We have showers moving through, isolated thunderstorms tonight. Showers and thunderstorms will move through tomorrow with a upper level front in the tail of Ida, tropical depression with 30-mile-per-hour winds. Still to this day over the Tennessee Valley. They will race off to the northeast. We'll get lower humidity, lower dew points moving into the area. Oh, I'm sorry, David and Byron, but your pollen's going to go up.
Oh boy!
But things will ship themselves back to normal over the upcoming week. And on top of that, off the weather subject, Miss Secretary of the Biden administration, she's been lying since day one about the dog.
Okay.
That poor woman doesn't open her mouth when she's not lying about something. I would hate to be in that position. She has to.
There was a reporter that legitimately asked a question about Biden's dog that bit a whatchamacallit, but actually it was 8 of them.
Okay.
One.
All right. Well, thank you for that piece of information, Austin. All right. On behalf, I want to do some pick'ems, but that's all right. We'll do pick'ems, Jerry.
I'm sorry, David.
No. It's all good.
That needed to be talked about.
It's all good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no big deal. Hey, we'll do pick'ems and we'll talk about Friday night. Right, look at this beautiful cake. We're going to have a piece of it. Hey, thank you, Miss Shirley Bagwell, Mom. We love you. On behalf of Mr. Brian Bagwell, Mr. Alice Stevens, Mr. Donald Stevens, Mr. Michael Heater, Mr. Mitchell Gunner, I'm David Rodgers, your host. God bless you guys. Have a great week. Have a beautiful Labor Day weekend, because we won't be with you, but I will be with you on Tornado Football. We'll talk about that big-time college football this weekend, boys. Hey, all our teams are playing. God bless. Good night.
Good night.